Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King, and we come to you from the locker room once again today here on the campus of Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, as we're going to talk Islander men's and women's basketball as they prepare for the Southland Conference Tournament. We also have a special feature focusing on Islanders' strength and conditioning. Start things off, talking men's hoops with the head coach, Coach Willis Wilson. Coach, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Very, very good. Big finish to the regular season as your squad picked up back-to-back wins at home to secure the third seed in the Southland Conference Tournament and an opening round bye. It's been a long, arduous season and definitely wears a team out, to be honest with you. How has this squad managed to deal with the grind and pressures of being successful?
Well, I think two things have kind of played in our favor. Our team got healthy finally in the middle of February, second half of February, where guys were just beginning to feel good and were able to do more in practice in terms of conditioning and preparation for games and really paying a lot more attention to our own basketball team. And so I think with that and the fact that we've been able to win 6 out of our last 7 basketball games down the stretch here, it brings an amount of enthusiasm and an amount of excitement where guys are looking forward to it. And so I think the big key is when you combine those two factors, there's a level of anticipation every day about practice. There's a level of anticipation about the next game. And I just think we're physically and mentally and emotionally in a very good place right now.
To get your number 3 seed, you needed the 2 wins this past weekend. The first of the 2 being against Houston Baptist, a team that knocked us off earlier in February. Your team appeared to be kind of chomping at the bit to face these guys, coming out, wearing out the Huskies' defense in the first half, shooting a phenomenal, like 72% from the floor. Did we do anything different from the first meeting, or did we just do it better?
We did some things much better. I don't know that I'd say different, but much better. We certainly, especially in that first half, kept our foot on the gas. Didn't have the let-ups. You know, in Houston, we had a couple periods where we had 10-point lead, 9-point lead, and we just let up and let Houston Baptist back in that basketball game. In this particular game, I think our focus was much better. And Houston Baptist made a nice little run in the second half, but we were able to sort of recapture things. And I think the biggest and most significant difference was what we did on the defensive side of the basketball.
Well, Rashawn Thompson, John Jordan each had 20 on the night for your team, leading 5 players in double figures. That kind of balance is obviously very important. But in regard to those two, it was announced that John was named to the Southland Conference first team and Rashawn to the second team. Clearly well-deserved honors by both.
Well, without question, and especially when you look at John Jordan, the only player in the country with 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists, and his assists are well above that number. You don't find that very often. Only the second player in the history of Southland to achieve something like that. So it's just a statement about how unique he is, and to be a pass-first guy, to be your leading scorer and the all-time leading scorer in school's history, it just says a lot about who he is as a person. And then when you just look at Rashawn, he's, you know, the guy's nicknamed the Beast. He's a beast on the inside. He's a guy that's a warrior, and he's relentless. The one thing that I really admire about Rashawn, in spite of his foul difficulties over the course of the year, he has not relented and tried to become something that he's not. He knows who he is, and he really relies on his grit. Second leading rebounder in the league. You know, very, very impressive. Done a very, very good job. He and John have been battling for that leading scorer spot on our basketball team since conference play began, and so really happy for those guys. And it's really a statement about the program and about all of their teammates and their contribution to help those guys be successful.
You know, on Saturday, Abilene Christian came to town. And, of course, we need performances from these gentlemen once again. And it appeared that, at least defensively, you saved your best for last. In that game, the Wildcats only scored 27 points on the night, shot 18% from the field. Those are all-time marks in Islanders history.
Well, I think our defense is getting a lot better. Our rotations are much, much improved. We've got to continue to be able to do that. But when you go back and look at the film and break down the last several ball games, I'd say 3 games ago we had a lot of instances where the defense was stellar. But as we've looked at the last couple games, it's really, really been dialed in. And against Abilene Christian, you couldn't ask it to be better. Now, Abilene Christian, I think, did miss some shots. But when it was all said and done, our rotations were really spectacular. Bryce Duvier did an amazing job on the glass. He didn't score a point in the game, but he had 11 rebounds and really seized the opportunity for our basketball team to be able to do good things defensively by eliminating a lot of their second shot opportunities.
Huge effort with those 11 boards, that's for sure. When your team gets 3 defensive stops in a row, it's called a kill. Listen to your guys. Now, you've had a goal each game for the number of kills that you want. Where did we come up with this strategy, and why has this kill strategy been so effective?
Well, it's something that we have a drill called 3 times and out that we've done for a number of years in practice, where you work on trying to get stops, and the motivation for the defense is you get 3 stops and you can get out of the drill. And we've been able to carry that over into live action. Just something that with the help of Dr. Carr, we've kind of formulated some what I would call non-negotiables that we really want to focus our team on. There's so many instances when you get in the middle of the season and things aren't going the way you anticipate, you have to make some adjustments, and the decision that we made was that we were going to simplify things for our basketball team. We're going to try to free our guys up to play basketball and not overthink things. And so from an offensive standpoint, we put together some packages that we found to be very fruitful for our team. And from a defensive standpoint, we just want energy-generating behaviors. We want guys to be very proactive about defense, and to bring all of those sorts of things like rebounding and 50-50 balls and deflections and talking on defense and getting stops to pull that all together. The kill concept really came into play for us, and it's really paid dividends for us.
No doubt. You mentioned it earlier. I was planning on bringing up John Jordan. As you mentioned, John Jordan played his final home game of his career. It was senior day. All of the family came in from Houston to see him play in a bus. It was fantastic. He achieved that incredible milestone: 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists in his career. A special player, no doubt. What he did to achieve that honor, you just don't see this.
No, you really don't. I mean, he's had a very unique career, and it's been a very good career. The fun thing about coaching John is that I've had an opportunity to see the growth over the last 4 years, and he was a little bit emotional on senior day, and that's a good thing. What it says is that he's really had a great experience here. He's really fell in love with this university and with his teammates and with the program, and he's certainly left his mark, and that's the most impressive thing for me. And I've talked so many times about John's dedication to the program, along with Hamid Ali, Jake Coher, and some other guys, but those 3 guys in particular, at the end of that freshman year when it was really dark days, those guys really went to work that spring and dedicated themselves. And as I touched on earlier, John as a guy that really takes pride in distributing the ball to be your leading scorer just says a lot about his talent and a lot about the character that he possesses.
Now, you're going to open the Southland Conference Tournament in the second round after achieving the bye, facing the winner of New Orleans and Nicholls. Now, in terms of your team's preparation, are those 2 teams similar or dramatically different in their respective styles?
Well, I think they're a lot different. I think what you see with Nicholls, although they have tried to run more, they're more of a continuity offense in the half court. They'll kind of mix up their defenses a little bit. What you see with New Orleans is a very athletic team that's going to play inside out. They really try to pressure the rim in transition. A lot of what you see with a team similar to Northwestern State, maybe with a little bit more of a balanced attack and coming at you from multiple spots on the floor. So I think it is fairly different, but nothing different than what we've seen in terms of our preparation over the course of the year. So it should be something that we'll be ready for.
Best of luck to you this weekend, the Southland Conference Tournament, with an opportunity to move on to the dance. But we'll take it one game at a time, I guess.
Absolutely. If we can take one game at a time, good things will happen for the Islanders.
Coach Willis Wilson joining us once again. Best of luck, sir. When we come back, we'll bring you up to speed on so many things with Islander basketball and a special feature on Islanders strength and conditioning. Coming up in just a moment on Islanders Insider.
The Southland Conference is 4,200 student athletes, from 13 member institutions, competing in 17 NCAA Division I sports. We are Southland Strong.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. This time we have a special feature focusing on head coach Richie Burnett and the Islanders Strength and Conditioning Program.
The Islanders Strength and Conditioning Program focuses on helping student athletes achieve their maximum potential, both physically and mentally.
It's about just developing the athlete's mindset to winning, promoting the greatest potential for them to win, and even breaking down barriers that we see, whether physically, mentally, emotionally sometimes, that keep them from being the best athlete that they can be.
Recently, the Islanders welcomed assistant strength and conditioning coach Lee Scott to the program, a hire that rounded out the already strong staff.
Our strategies are only as good as our coaching personnel, so I spent a lot of time as the administrator, as the head strength coach, just developing our interns and our support staff to make sure that they are as equipped as we need them to be to implement these strategies and to make these athletes shine, if you will.
I'm in a very blessed position to have the individuals that we have and to work with a person of character like Rich himself. And so we work very well together. It's a very educational environment. We're always asking each other questions, learning and teaching each other. And it's very it's very non-egotistical.
As strength and conditioning coaches, preparation is key to be able to get the most out of each session that they have with the student athletes.
There's a lot that goes into that area as far as preparation and execution and just carrying out the workout plan. Because when you have anywhere from 10 to 40 athletes in a session, you want to maximize every second of that session and get as many eyeballs as you can in the right places and making sure athletes are being supervised and that quality is being prioritized and technique is poor technique is not being tolerated and good technique is being emphasized.
The preparation that goes into each and every lift is talked about prior to. We devise how we're going to set up the weight room, how we're going to set up a warm-up, how we're going to go through a workout, the different little things that have to happen within the workout. Without having our interns help, in the middle of it, we wouldn't be as efficient as we are. And so the preparation factor is really, you could say, is the most important factor when we're talking about actually conducting a session.
The coaching staff does most of their work behind the scenes, so when they got into the field, they knew it wasn't really for the glory.
At the end of the day, we are service-minded, and I think the best strength coaches out there are the ones who are just the most selfless and the most service-minded and are just there to do their job.
We all understand that we're in the service industry. We're not here for ourselves. We're here for the athletes, and so the only way that we can benefit the athletes is to continue to serve them and serve each other and learn on a daily basis how we can get better so they can get better.
We want influence. We want to be the type of leaders and coaches that bring something out of an athlete from the deepest parts within them to make them want to excel, but also just to bring a selflessness out of them that makes them want to be fully committed to the team that they're a part of and to this program.
For Islanders Insider, I'm Teddy Medina. We'll be right back.
GoIslanders.com is your source for Texas A&M Corpus Christi athletics. From live stats to live video to all the latest news, GoIslanders.com has everything to keep you up to date on all the latest on your favorite Islanders team. On the road, the Islanders Front Row app brings you live stats, video, and news right on your mobile device. Check out Islanders schedules and statistics and learn more about the student athletes at the Island University. Get tickets, Islanders game day gear, and more by clicking your way to GoIslanders.com today. Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we're going to talk some Islanders women's hoops with the head coach of the program, Coach Royce Chadwick. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Stephen. How are you?
Very, very good. Well, first off, congratulations on a strong finish to the regular season, knocking off both Houston Baptist and Abilene Christian, truthfully by an average of 22 points per game. Classifying the outcomes as revenge victories might be a little bit harsh, but at the same time, listening to a couple of the players' comments following the wins, it did seem like both of those games were personal.
Well, number one, we want to get some momentum going into our tournament, and to win some games going in is huge for your team. We had lost to both of these people, and we didn't think we played our best basketball game. So when we were in Houston, we made some mental errors that we thought we were beyond at that time of the year. And I think our players were very anxious to show that we could keep our focus and get over the hump. And then at Abilene Christian, it was a long road trip, and we got run ruled. You know, I mean, that game, they just kept playing, and we kept playing worse and worse, and it was a huge victory for them. And so our girls were very anxious to show that that was not us and that we could play better. And I thought we played some of our best basketball when it counted the most.
Well, against Houston Baptist in the Thursday contest, your team presented balanced scoring, 5 players in double figures. And the fact of the matter is we do have prolific scorers that can go 25 to 30 points on pretty much on any given evening. But are we better when we're spreading the points around?
Absolutely, yeah, because we play better defense when we hit a basket. And if you get Kamisha Davis to hit a basket now, it enhances her defense. And that's what happens with young players. You know, if it's going good, well, my hair looks good, and, you know, my uniform's all pressed, and I play better. And so it happens the same if we make a good play on the offensive end. Cassie Jones hits a shot, our whole defense is better. If Janeska Lawler hits a shot, our team likes her so much that they're so excited that she did something on the offensive end that we play better defense. So I think it's you know, until we get to the point where we have enough leadership that no matter what happens on one end, we're ready to focus on the other. Those things are going to be huge for us. So it's important that we score, you know, and get people opportunities that they like to have. So we'll see if we can keep that up.
In the first meeting with the Huskies, we lost the battle of the boards by double figures. Second time around, your team had a resounding resurgence, out-rebounding them by 15. Also, each team had 15 turnovers in this game, but we outscored them 25-9 in points off of turnovers. How big are those two statistics on the evening?
Well, turnovers for us, if we turn it over 5 or 6 times in a game, we lose. And if we turn it over 27 times, we lose. So we got to be in that mid-range where we're making smart decisions, but we still aren't being tentative. We are being aggressive, and we're trying to make plays. And so we're going to, you know, we've kind of had to just swallow hard as coaches and say we're going to turn it over a few times. But we were able to convert some of that HBU stuff into easy baskets. And you're talking about 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s, so we were able to make that happen. And the rebounding, to me, rebounding is always about toughness and heart and desire and good things happening and you just being tenacious. And we brought that for 40 minutes in the game here. We didn't necessarily bring that when we were in Houston.
Well, against Abilene Christian, a team that really gave you arguably the most demoralizing loss on the road this season, the defense was really cranked up, holding the Wildcats to 24% shooting on the night. What was so different for your team in the second meeting of the season as compared to that first time when you were on the road, the long road trip?
Well, you know, when you have to get in the space shuttle to get there, you know, it's a whole different situation of how your team performs. And going all the way out there, we didn't perform as well as we should have. We got a whole bunch of new players that had never been to Abilene, and, you know, they didn't, you know, they're scared to come out of the hotel room, you know, because they didn't know what to expect. And we just didn't play with any aggressiveness and tenacity. And, you know, we started in July when we brought our players in, and we started talking about where we want to be in March. And when March comes, you're going to be playing your best basketball. And we've been telling them that over and over and over. And March is here, and they believe they are going to play their best basketball. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our assistant coaches, because our assistant coaches made the change, and this is the way we need to play defense on Abilene Christian in the second game, unlike the way we played it the first game. So Roxanne White, Darren Brunson, and Jeff Grom brought us a scouting report that was that helped us win the basketball game the second time, and our defense was 10 times better.
Well, congrats on earning a bye in the opening round of the Southland Conference Tournament. For your opponent in the second round, it's either going to be McNeese State or Houston Baptist. Do you have any preferences on who you're going to play?
Well, you know, I hope it's a 5 overtime, you know, high scoring or low scoring or very much out of their character. You know, I hope that it's a situation that when they come in, they've really been spent, and, you know, they didn't earn a bye, so we have to take advantage of our opportunity to have a bye. And, you know, it'll be a tough task for us. I think, as you play people more and more, the margin between the two teams gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So we have to be ready to play.
Well, you said it over and over again, and you mentioned it again today. It's not how you play in November, December, January, or February. It's about how you play in March. It's March. How are we playing?
Well, we're playing our best basketball of the year so far. Every day's a new day. You see teams that'll go out on a Friday night, score 100 points, and they come out on Saturday and they get 52, but you win. So whatever it takes to progress, you get it done. You just try to go win the game. Get one more point than your opponent, survive another day, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Coach, best of luck this weekend in the Southland Conference Tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Royce Chadwick joining us here in the locker room. When we come back, we'll bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. More to come on Islanders Insider.
Healthcare never sleeps. It's constantly changing. Hello. It's not a desk job. I'm on my feet all day.
It's Trevor 3 East.
I'm Trevor Bonzer, and I'm a nurse manager at Christus Spawn Shoreline. The faculty at A&M Corpus Christi, you see the passion in their teaching. They will challenge you, and they will motivate you. They want you to succeed.
Named a top Texas university for return on investment. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Discover your island. Visit us for Island Day at islandday.tamucc.edu.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, let's bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. Islanders women's basketball will head to the Southland Conference Tournament on Friday, March 13th at 11 a.m. at the Merrill Center in Katy as they take on either Houston Baptist or McNeese State. With a win, they'll compete on Saturday at 1 o'clock and then the championship game potentially on Sunday the 13th at 12 noon. Saturday's game will be featured on ESPN3, while Sunday's game will be on the CBS Sports Network. Islander men's basketball will compete in the Southland Conference Basketball Tournament on Thursday, March 12th at 7:30 at the Merrill Center in Katy as they take on either New Orleans or Nichols. With the win, they'll take to the floor on Friday the 13th at 7:30, and then Saturday's championship game will be at 8:30 p.m. The first two games of the Southland Conference Tournament will be featured on ESPN3, while the championship game will air on ESPN2. Islanders softball will open a 3-game series at Chapman Field on Friday the 13th as they take on McNeese State. The Friday contest will begin at 3 p.m., followed by a doubleheader on Saturday at 12 noon and 2 p.m. Islander baseball will take it on the road to Thibodaux, Louisiana to take on the Nichols Colonels. Friday the 13th at 6 p.m., Saturday at 6, and Sunday at 1 p.m. On Monday the 16th, the Islanders will travel to Lake Charles, Louisiana to take on the McNeese State Cowboys in a non-conference single-game effort. That game starts at 6 p.m. Islander golf will be heading to the Rio Verde Collegiate Invitational at the White Wing Golf Course in Rio Verde, Arizona on Friday the 13th through the 15th. Islander men's tennis will compete against South Alabama at the Thomas J. Henry Tennis Center on Saturday the 14th at 10 a.m. Women's tennis will compete in Southland Conference action at the Thomas J. Henry Center on Saturday the 14th at 1 p.m. as they take on Stephen F. Austin. Then on Sunday the 15th, it'll be Northwestern State coming to town to face the Islanders also in Southland Conference action starting at 12 noon. And Islander Track and Field will host the Islanders Open on Friday and Saturday, March 13th and 14th at the Dugan Family Track and Soccer Stadium. These are all-day events. Special thanks out to Royce Chadwick and Willis Wilson of Islander women's and men's basketball joining us here in the locker room. Most importantly, thank you to you for tuning in once again. I'm Stephen King. For everyone here at Islanders Insider, we appreciate you tuning in. You have been watching Islanders Insider.